Okay, now let's see if you can guess what I'm talking about next. Everybody has one. It's not something you can opt out of. It's a definer of success in your career, and it's the most visible marker of you and what you stand for. I'm talking about our own personal brand, or brand you, if you like, which is the focus of a new book written by Veronica Canning. And I'm delighted to say that Veronica joins us on the line now to tell us all about it. Veronica, good evening to you.
Good evening there.
Lovely to have you on the programme, and thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Can I just ask you, first of all, what inspired you to write about this particular topic?
Well, it came over a number of years because I work one-on-one with senior executives, and I used to do a lot of work on how you would plan a career. And we would work out, what was their end goal for their career, where do they want to be, and we'd work out the milestones. And it began to dawn on me that 50% of the people I was working with would really soar in their careers, and the others would not. They'd stall. So they would go for interviews and not get them, or they would be working in a company and just not getting to the next level. And I began to think, what could it possibly be that was doing this? And what was holding them back? And I came to the conclusion in my work that it was the person themselves. It wasn't their work or their CV or their skills or all their qualifications. It was actually the behaviours of the person themselves. And I'll give you an example. Somebody who, you see in work gets very well rewarded for being a very hard worker. And they put their head down and they work. And they think that somebody will notice them. And in fact, they don't. Who they notice are the people who have a personal brand and who is purposeful. So I say everybody is a personal brand, but it's either accidental or purposeful. And the accidental one is where I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not in charge of the impact I am making on other people. But the purposeful one is I do know what the impact is on other people. And so it came to me that you have to know what your impact is on other people. And you have to know who those other people are. So in the personal brand, it's all about knowing yourself. It's knowing the things that might knock you off course. I call them derailers in your career. So, for example, if that would be somebody who's doing very well in their career, we'll say they're, again, not just a hard worker, but perhaps even a workaholic, and they're results orientated, and they're going very well in their career. But at a certain stage, when somebody's progressing up a company, it's more than results. It's to do with how you get other people to deliver results. It's about how you motivate people. It's how you have a vision. And at that stage, they stall. And that's the 50% who don't soar because they're not conscious of what they need to do to have an impact on people and how to be themselves and not be derailed by one particular aspect of themselves.
And I assume, Veronica, that you're not just talking about networking, you're not just talking about playing golf with the managing director and being seen at the right parties. It's much more individual than that, much more personality based than that.
I'd say that my answer to that would be that it's more profound than that. It's more looking at, as you are in a company, particularly if you're in one with a good number of people in it, that you're looking around you and saying, who has influence over my career in this company? And are they seeing the best version of me? Or am I just, and people get into difficulty in work where they're not getting on with people, or they're just not reading what the other people want. So it's not I will make a superficial impression on you. And it's not that I go out and play golf or GAA with you or whatever. It's not that. It's very much core to your performance in company. And are you very conscious of what other people think of you? I suppose it would help if I said my short definition of a personal brand is what people say about you when you leave the room. It's not what you think the personal brand is, it's what they actually say about you.
And Veronica, have we all become individual brands since, we'll say, the internet and social media, with so many people having an online profile? Or did we always have that personal brand and it's just that it's become more out there in the modern world of social media?
That's right. That's very insightful of you. That's exactly what it is. I've always had a personal brand, but now it's not a personal brand within a company. It's a personal brand for everybody. I think why this has become more of an issue and why I'm finding it so much in my work is that people are moving more now. So if you went in previously to a company and stayed for a good number of years, everybody knew who you were, your good and bad sides. But people now don't stay that long, and particularly younger people move every 4 to 5 years. So they know that their personal brand is a transportable asset, as you open this piece with. It is a transportable asset. So it's very important that you are conscious of that, because you are making a new first impression then very many more times in your career than you did, say, 10 or 15 years ago.
Have many people damaged their own personal brands by posting things on social media, for example, in recent years?
Well, there's people say that, don't they, to young people? Be very careful what you put up on the web because it stays there. Well, we have seen spectacular derails when people will post an inappropriate thing on Twitter, but they're really the outliers. They're the ones we remember because they're very specific. I think the territory I'm in is your average everyday worker in their job and how the people around them are perceiving them. Are they getting the best version of the person? Because you discovered that my main thing on the derailing or the damaging of a brand is at a point when somebody is just too much. I'll give an example. People who say to you, now listen here, I'm a very straightforward person. And I always say to them, well, how is that going for you now? Like, are people happy with you being that straightforward? Are they able to take it? And that can be a revelation to somebody. Oh, I thought it was a good thing to be very straightforward. And you think, well, that just depends on the person that you're talking to. You could come across as aggressive.
And does it come down to personality traits as well? Because let's say there's somebody who's really, really good at their job and is a great worker, very conscientious, puts the head down, always turns up, but is intrinsically very shy and, quiet and not forceful, not the person that you hear the loudest at parties or whatever. Is there any hope for somebody like that succeeding?
That's a very good one, because I call people who do that the good worker. And they literally do believe that it's a meritocracy and that their good work will be rewarded. And my answer to that is that only goes so far. But it would be fake to say to them, you better now just become the life and soul of the party, because you're right, their personality is not that. So you have to be authentic to yourself, which can still be a quiet, shy person and have a proactive personal brand where you don't, if you do a good job, you make the people above you know you've done a good job. You don't just assume that they're going to know. It's in the proactivity of it that I'm pushing people.
What common traits do you think very successful people have who have a strong brand?
I would say the best trait for a successful person is that they're very authentic. That the person you see is the person you get. So they're fair. It's always a good thing to be considered to be fair, to be emotionally intelligent. And by that I mean I know myself and the impact I'm having on you. I've noticed the impact I'm having on you, and I can change my behaviour. I mean, that is an incredible trait. I'm fair. I'm professional. I am emotionally intelligent. I'm not moody. Those are baseline. And then the next one, of course, is ambition.
Is what, sorry?
It is ambition.
Ambition.
If you have ambition and you have a very good value system, and then I'm basing all this on the person being good at their job. That's a given, isn't it? They literally are good at their job. But those kind of very core values and ability to get on with people and then inspire them, it's core. Because you see people going out of business or failing in their career where they're very, very pushy and they're very ambitious, but they don't. It's not balanced by the the good person inside.
Veronica, I could talk to you all evening because this is an absolutely fascinating subject, but unfortunately we're going to have to wrap it up there. But just remind us again, the book is called?
Okay, the book is called Your Brand, Advance Your Career by Building a Personal Brand. And you can order it. It's in the bookshops, but you can go straight onto my website, veronicacanning.com, and you can just click and you can buy it and we'll deliver it to you.
Well, it sounds like a fascinating read, and it was lovely to have you on the show, and thank you so much for joining us on Radio Kerry.
Thank you very much. Bye.
That's Veronica Canning there, talking about the need and how important it is to develop your own personal brand. Just gone 6:45. You're listening to In Business, and we're back after these.